Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Looks Like On podcast. In this episode, Coach Moses Michalovich calls us straight from Israel for our second episode on the Looks Like On podcast. This time, we talk about victim mentality. Why do we sometimes fall into the victim mentality? And what are the short-term benefits of the victim mentality? Sometimes it feels so tempting to want to become the victim. Have you ever felt this? Because I'm sure that I have. We know these conversations will be helpful to someone somewhere out there. So this is for you. Enjoy. Hey, Moses.
How are you? Good to see you.
Hey, good. Hey, man. Sorry I'm late. I got my time mixed up over here.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. It's all right. So what's up? How are you? Let me just take this off.
Yeah, doing all right, man. I just
Yeah.
finished like a busy period in my day job. Like I teach English over here,
Uh,
and we just finished like a whole month of parent meetings. Like just meeting all the parents of all the children.
wow, you're teaching English to people from Vietnam, to children from Vietnam?
Yes,
Wow, amazing.
like in public school. So I teach grade 3 and grade 4.
Oh, cool. Very cool. How did you end up with doing that?
Well, I guess in Vietnam, it's the most common job for expats. So, yeah, I kind of just, I kind of just moved here on impulse, and when I was here, I realized that, oh my gosh, this job is actually easy to get. So I've been doing that for a few years.
Amazing. And does it pay well to be a teacher?
Like for the local standards, it pays really well. Yeah. Maybe for like American standards, it's like maybe normal, or
Yeah.
it pays like a little bit more than like working at Starbucks back home.
Right,
But
right.
for the standards here, it's like it's more than you need.
Amazing. Very good. Very nice.
Yeah.
So how is everything in Vietnam? How's it going?
Vietnam, it's I'd say it's developing pretty quickly compared to like my family's home country of Peru, which is like stuck in time, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, Vietnam is like they just installed their first MRT train. So now we have like a train
Wow, wow.
through the city finally.
Amazing.
And yeah, I guess this country is still communist, so they can change the law at any moment without warning. So there's
Oh,
times,
they are still, I didn't know that they are still communists.
yeah, they're still communist. So every now and then there's just a new law. And then it's like, oh, surprise.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
So I wanted to try something with you. Um,
Yeah, let's go.
I've been using ChatGPT a lot to provide powerful questions that can
Mm-hmm.
generate powerful answers. So I want to try with you today.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Sounds amazing.
Awesome. So today we're gonna talk about victim mentality, right? So the the first question I have here is, how do you personally define victim mentality?
All right. I'm going to give my definition. It might be a little bit long, but yeah, for me this is the whole thing. So basically, the way I see it, victim mentality is a shadow form of the king archetype in a way. So the king archetype has both two types of shadows. It's like a spectrum of shadows, and one of them would be the real active one, which will be the tyrant, and the other one will be the real passive one, which will be the weakling prince, they call it. And this one will be the victim. This is the one that life is so unfair towards him, and everything is so hard, and people need to really walk on eggshells around him. And so every form of a victim mentality would be originated from somewhere in this place, from somewhere in this shadow area.
Mm.
This is how I define it. It's
Mhm.
the reluctant to take responsibility, to take ownership, to be a king in a way, to be an owner of your own life, and it's not it doesn't have it's not that it doesn't have benefits to be a victim. You know, there are benefits to it. You
Mm.
know, so it is a strategy that it produces results in a way.
Can you say
The
what are
human
those benefits? What are the benefits of having victim mentality?
well, you don't have to take responsibility, and you can go on with your life without failing or without taking any chances, and no one will blame you for not doing anything because everything is so unfair towards you that it's not your fault. There's no, again, coming back to the ownership and the responsibility.
Mm.
It is, and it is somewhat of a defense mechanism also. So it's not only, I don't want to come from a position of victim hatred or something like that. It's usually people who grew up where failure was so bad and so dangerous to fail in something. You might lose your parents' love or your parents' appreciation or whatever mechanism that was installed when you were young that made you go towards this solution. It is a solution for a problem. And the problem is that failing is extremely unacceptable, extremely painful. So I would rather not do instead of fail because life is so unfair. So I would fail anyway. It's better not to do
Mm.
something like that. That is the logic behind it, I suppose.
Are
Yeah.
they usually like looking for someone to save them?
Um, yeah. In a way, yes. I feel that every person that chooses to go victim is inherently giving up on their own power.
Mm.
Yes, and they will wait for things to get better. They would not do anything to make them better, or they would do as little as they can so it wouldn't get better. Because releasing this pattern is giving up on something, and it doesn't give you your rewards right away. Like initially, you would get the responsibility, the complaints, the not being good enough, the not being up to a standard. So you do get the power back, but with this power comes the responsibility, obviously, and this is what they fear. This is what they dread the most. The yeah, I was responsible and I failed, and
Mm.
that is that is the thing.
I
Yeah,
didn't think about that before, like a huge fear of failure. Then
yeah.
how would you help someone to like reprogram that belief of fear of failure?
I can give you my own example. I wasn't in a victim mentality, or at least not consciously, but for me, I also still have it that strong desire not to fail in things, and and you have to understand it's not just a desire. It's literally an entity inside of you, some kind of a general or a parent or a teacher or someone that is pushing you, always pushing you, and it doesn't stop, never stops. So you kind of move between the I'm working for it or I'm aware of it and I'm not gonna do it. And if even if you are aware of it and you're not gonna do what it pushes you in, you still feel like I should have done this. You know, there is still this thing is very much it's alive. It's a real entity in your subconscious mind, and it feeds off your weaknesses. It really feeds off that. Like it would look for the thing that you are weak at, and will push you, push you, push you. You know, relentlessly.
Mm.
So in my personal life, I can tell you that failing was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It happened to me in a very late age when I failed something that was important to me, but it generated a release that I don't think that any talk therapy could do. You know, it was just, yeah,
Mm.
failing and having to face the fact that this wasn't good enough
Mm.
and that maybe others would do it better even. It was very hard for me personally,
Mm.
but it really released something in me because, you know, nothing happened. Yeah, I failed and the world is still here.
This reminds me, like back in 2023, I failed in relationships. I failed epically over and over again, like within the span of like 2 months. Maybe I had like I think like four breakups in like two
Wow.
months. Yeah, it was just like it was like I thought I was someone with high awareness until that moment where I just couldn't believe what I did. And
Yeah.
I saw it as a huge failure. And part of me still sees that as a failure now, but at least the guilt is not like eating me alive anymore. At least now it's
Yeah.
maybe every month or so this feeling comes back, but it's much more manageable now. Because back in 2023 when it just happened, it was becoming like unbearable in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of us, it usually comes from childhood, those things. You know, I remember that as a child, uh, when I got bad grades from school, I used to hide it. I used to throw it, you know, throw the test to the garbage. So that my like I couldn't stand the fact of being known as a failure, you know, of being labeled as someone who failed. I just couldn't stand it. I preferred to lie. I preferred, you know, and it really comes from childhood. And you know, sometimes this is also something that for me was related a lot to victim mentality because most of those things that we deal with do come from childhood, and it's very easy to go and blame our parents and to go into that victim mentality. They did this to me, you know, and it might be right, you know, it might be that your circumstances have been difficult, but. But it's different to have difficult circumstances than choosing to become a victim, you know? The circumstances are unchangeable, but being a victim or not is it's a concept in your mind. It's a decision that you make. You don't.
Hmm.
It doesn't have anything to do with a certain circumstances. You know, even if you are how do you say it? Even if you are described as a victim by law. You know, people who are victims of a crime, they don't have to embrace that I'm a victim. You know,
Hmm.
this happened to me. It was bad. It was really bad. It was unpleasant, hurtful. But saying I'm a victim is a little bit different than describing the situation that happened. There is some sort of a title
Right.
on it, of a label, you know, and with that label comes a lot comes with it, you know.
It's like their identity, right?
Definitely, definitely, exactly, exactly. Yeah,
That's
and
dangerous.
yeah, and it's an identity that kind of gives you a lot, you know. it does have its benefits. It does give you the freedom not to do, the freedom from responsibility. It keeps you in a state of, it keeps you in your comfort zone. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to succeed because because you're not responsible. It's not your fault, you know.
Mm.
So that's the reward, I suppose.
Mm. Oh, nice. Okay, let me go back to these ChatGPT questions. Oh, this is a good one. Do you think society encourages or discourages victim mentality?
uh, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
It could
It
be both
depends.
at the same time, right?
Yeah, it depends which part of society are you engaged with,
Mm,
you know, and you could. I can see it a lot in people complaining about relationships.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see it a lot in if you read in the forums or the groups, the Facebook groups, people that talk about their wives or girls that talk about their husbands. It's very much complaining, very much, yeah, they did this to me. It's so unfair. I wish I wouldn't. I wish I wasn't married. All of those things,
mm.
and yeah, I believe that in this aspect, in this, yeah, people are a little bit. It's not that society they encourage each other because victims they feel more comfortable with other victims. They wouldn't feel
Ah,
comfortable with a man taking responsibility, you
mm,
know. But I think that women are more uh, they have less of it. I think that women are more encouraging each other to take a stand and to be strong. And yeah, yeah, I believe that men are a little bit more inclined to this type of yeah.
wow. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you, this might be a tough question, but similar to what to the question that we just asked right now, like, do you think society, and now I mean like the society of where you live, like, do you currently live like in the capital city of Israel, or
No, I live in the north of Israel.
so in that part of the country, do you feel that society, and I guess now when I say society, I mean the system that manages that population, do you feel that that system encourages victim mentality or discourages victim mentality?
I specifically here, I think that it's very much discouraged.
Mm,
Yes, very much discouraged. Yeah, it's part of the whole, I guess, I don't know, subconscious mind of the country, of the place, of the people, the global subconscious mind. You know, the not the personal one, but yeah, as a nation, I guess, yeah, we are very much discouraged by it. But I do have a comment on that, which is a very interesting take on being a victim. It actually brings me to the next thing I was about to say. That being a victim or having a victim mentality can go very bad in certain situations, and it can be very dangerous when a nation assumes a victim mentality. And the reason is because when a nation assumes a victim mentality, there's always the other nation or the other people who made them victims. And they can get very dangerous and very, even to a point of genocide when you think that the other nation or the other people had made you the victim, and you deserve your revenge. You deserve your own justice. And this is really the psychology of evil in a way, you know. And if you look in history at all of these totalitarian regimes, Hitler or Mussolini or Stalin, Mao, and all of that, they all had a victim. They all had a victim mentality that one day just, we deserve our justice. They just flipped in one day and became from victims to the one claiming their own justice. And from who? From the one in their mind was was the fault in their situation, you know?
Mm.
So the Nazis killed a few million people, you know, 6 million Jews and I don't know, 30 million Europeans, and the Russians at Stalin's time, they killed about 80 million of their own people because they believed that the rich were the one who made them victims. The
Oh.
rich were abusing them, you know, and their solution was, yeah, so let's make everyone poor. Make
Mm.
it justice. It's better than eating, I suppose. And the same in China, and the same in every place where you have a nation that assumes this, we are the victim, this mentality on a nation level. There is a very that can be very, very dangerous. That can be really, really dangerous.
Mm.
Because once you believe that you're a victim and you have someone to blame, then in your mind it's only just to revenge. It's
Mm.
only right to make it, you know, to make it right again. And
Makes me think
that kind
about
of
America too. Like America is like divided into two Americas, and each side feels like the victim of the other side.
very dangerous. Yeah, and you see the hatred that they have. It's not like just, yeah, I'm voting this and you voting that. It's true hatred
Yeah.
between them, you know. Yeah, yeah. And this is something that is I think it's planned, you know. I think they're like, both sides are using tactics from World War II to for mass mind control, and they both have agendas, and in the end the people are just influenced by them, victims in a way. But this is the danger. If you don't think for yourself, if you don't take your own stand, then yeah, then you're dangerous. You're not just a victim, you're dangerous, because one day that victim mentality will turn to the other side and look for the one who made it victim,
Mm.
and they can get very dangerous towards the thing that they think, you know.
Thinking about my own victim mentality, I felt pretty angry. Well, yeah, like how we said first, like maybe we would blame our parents for whatever issue we have, and then I would think, wait, but I'm sure my parents must have had some difficulty, so I'll blame my grandparents. And I was just trying to keep going back, like who can I actually guilt about this? But I would keep going back. If I keep doing that, I'll go back to the Big Bang itself. Like, oh my God, maybe I should stop trying to find someone to be angry at.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what the mind does. It will make every effort it can to find someone to blame instead of taking responsibility, you know, because this is the fear. This is the fear. I will take responsibility and I will fail, and everyone will see it, you know, and it's scary. It really is scary for those people,
Hmm.
you know.
It's pretty cool. It kind of feels like getting rid of the victim mentality is like it's almost like a training in leadership.
Definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's moving from a shadow king into the mature king. Yeah, definitely, it is super. It's super important for leadership, you know, to take ownership, to take responsibility, and it could be just for little things in the beginning, and then you just widen your circle and widen your own kingdom in a way. And and it's very liberating, really, really liberating. Yeah.
Well, good. I needed to have this conversation. That's awesome. Okay.
uh,
Huh. Okay, here's a question. I'm sure. Have you ever witnessed someone break free from a victim mindset, and what changed for them?
I have witnessed a lot of people break free from that. Yeah. What changed for them? Everything. Everything in their lives, mainly their relationships, their their attitude towards life. Uh, it's just being a different person. The circumstances in your life maybe will not change. It's still going to rain. It's still going to be sunny. Everything's going to be the same, but that doesn't matter. The way you react to it and the way you perceive things in life, it will become from something that breaks you into something that is another hill to conquer, and you just move on and do it. It's not just, it doesn't break. You don't break that easy. And yeah, there's a lovely saying that I really, really feel is like it goes in a lot of situations. It's like really perfect. Uh, they say that sculptures they sculpt with a metal chisel, right? They push it on the sculpture, and God sculptures with problems. It
Hmm.
gives you problems in order to remove the unnecessary parts of you. And having problems is a sign of life. People that don't have problems are dead usually.
Hmm.
And if every problem that comes along breaks you, then that is the real problem, not the problem that comes along. That is the thing to be dealt with.
Hmm.
And yeah, I believe that everyone can get out of this mentality. And the most important step is to choose to do that, you know? And it will take some time because your whole body and your whole system, your whole nervous system and your mind are very used to thinking like that. This is your go-to mechanism in your mind. This is your default way of thinking. But every time you stop yourself and and just saying it, declaring it. No, I'm not a victim in here. I'm the one who makes it different. All right, I'm the one who's going to fix it. I take ownership. You create a new circuits in your mind. You create new mechanisms in your mind and in your whole being, and it starts as something you do actively, and then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes your personality. And that's it. That's it. You're no longer that. And every time that you will come back to it, you will be so quick in your mind to notice it, and you will switch it so fast. Like you wouldn't have to really actively do it. You just
Hmm.
remember, oh yeah, this is not the what I want to do, and then switch it, and that's it.
Hmm. Kind of sounds like they're changing their lens, right? Like the way they see their life.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. This is what it is. It's just a lens. There's no real situation here that you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I talk with some friends a lot about lenses. Like one of my passions is to like see if I'm wearing a lens and just remove them and just see how far can we take it.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, yeah, you also mentioned God a little while ago. Like, what do you follow any religion?
Well, I was born Jewish, but I don't practice it. You can never become un-Jewish, like it's, I guess, by law in a way.
Hmm.
So that's the situation. But I do practice a lot of yoga and a lot of Buddhism. So my view of God or divine is a little bit different than traditional Jewish point of view.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. And I don't know if maybe in the higher studies they do have. I don't think that the Jewish point of view has this kind of belief towards God. I think that most gods in our at least what we learned that God is in school or church or synagogues, we learn that God is something external to us, something in the sky, something to look up to. It's not right part of here. It's not part of me. It's not, you know,
Hmm.
something like that. And in Hinduism and especially philosophies that go to the non-dualistic point of view, it's God is everything. Uh, it's the being itself. It's not something external to me. On the contrary, when you talked about the lenses, you can change a million lenses, but the real question is who is looking. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
that is the God part in you.
Hmm.
But you might be a lens and could be a very beautiful lens and everything, but the one inside looking, that is the thing that, yeah,
Yeah,
it should be.
that's
There is
one of
the
my favorite
observer.
topics. 'Cause, like, yeah, because we can be wearing so many lenses, but there's still something looking through them.
Exactly, exactly. And that thing is always there, forever fresh, forever never tired, never sleepy. It's like it's always this thing, it's always that ultimate subjective, I suppose, the ultimate subject in a way.
Like, even when you close your eyes, there's something looking at the inside of the skin.
Exactly, 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 exactly. The eyes are just they're a tool, but that thing is always it's using that tool, but it's always there. Yeah.
Now it feels like my
Yeah,
eyeballs are just like a window or something.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's definitely is. I imagine it always as this security guard that is sitting in a room full of screens and watching like a million cameras,
Yeah.
something like that. Something like that.
Kind of like, have you seen the Matrix movies?
Yeah, yeah,
There's one scene where
definitely.
there's the architect. He's sitting in a room full of cameras, just watching everyone's life.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, something like that.
That's
Something like that. In a way, like we are experiencing ourselves now, talking to each other, but in the deeper way, we are not experiencing anything. We are an experience. Someone else is experiencing how it is to be me, how it is to be you.
mm,
And it's just God playing like one hand playing with another hand.
yeah.
It's so beautiful to see it that way. So liberating also because
Yeah.
it's just a play of reality. It's like the best game in the world, but it's a game.
Right. Yeah, I'll even like I work with grade 3 and grade 4 kids, and sometimes just to play with them, I'll ask them like, "Wait, am I dreaming right now?" And I'll be like, "Wait, what is this? Is this Minecraft? What is this place?"
Yeah, definitely. I guess that it's very, very interesting to see how kids react to this. I think that it will be a lot easier for kids to connect to this.
Like, check this out. One of my students that she is the most intellectual kids that I have in my class. When I told her or when I asked her, "Hey, what if we're dreaming right now?" She just straight up told me, "Yep, we are."
Amazing, amazing, huh? Yeah, yeah.
I was so
Because
surprised
they
because
don't have
she's
so much
usually
resistance like we do.
like she's usually the most intellectual, like whatever, like book smart, logical kid. And for her to
Yeah,
tell me so straightforward, like, "Yep, we're dreaming." I was
yeah,
like, "Oh my
yeah.
God, thank you."
So amazing, so amazing. I wonder when do we lose that free-minded thought, you know?
Uh,
At
I
what
don't know.
age?
At what age? Maybe it's different for everyone, but I can imagine that the thing that blocks that is beliefs.
Yeah,
Like when we think that we know something, then suddenly, like it's hard to be open-minded when your cup is getting so full, I guess.
maybe. Yeah, 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 maybe.
So then how can we empty our cup?
Um, you have to really be in a constant state of challenging your beliefs.
Mm,
Put yourself in an environment where that really challenges the
mm,
thing that you insist on being true. You know, eventually, like all of them could be shattered if you are in an environment that constantly challenges you in a positive way, not in a way that puts you down, but really like open challenges of those belief systems.
mm,
And for me, what does it the best is uh, is group work. I have a group of men, like a men's circle that I'm a part of, and I think this is the thing that really helps me. It really puts me on a checking mechanism, you know. And every time you might fall into a victim mentality, or you might act in a way that is not mature, that is not, yeah. So we kind of keep each other checked, and we also provide each other with like a vulnerability circle, like a space where you can be vulnerable, where you can be uh, yeah, share your thoughts, share your pains, your hurts, without having to bring them to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your colleagues, to your friends,
mm,
you know, because those spaces are not very as not always safe. They're not always the best spaces to bring vulnerability into.
mm.
You
That's
know?
true.
So this is a group that really, yeah. Actually, I wanted to invite you to. I'm doing next Sunday. I'm going to do a workshop on the king archetype. So we're going to do a process of connecting to the king archetype and really finding out what our life's mission is, what our life's goal is, and it's going to be really nice. It's going to be on Zoom, and you're more than welcome to join. I'll send you a link.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And
Yeah,
when
with
you
pleasure, with
mentioned
pleasure.
like this men's vulnerability gathering here in
Yeah.
our city in Saigon, our friend Leo also hosts these in person. Oh, and I think he follows you on Instagram. Even like
Ah, amazing.
even before I added you, he was already following you. So somehow you guys are in a similar algorithm or something.
Amazing.
So cool. Gee.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Are you joining this? You're going to those?
Yes, I've gone to two of those meetings and I plan to attend the next one in about two
Really nice.
weeks.
Really nice. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, and
Really.
something that I really loved about it is the people that it attracts. Like I was so surprised to meet all these like-minded people that really like we really
Yeah,
understood each other.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's more than that. It's also the there is some kind of magic that happens in those groups, you know. It's the people they attract, as you said, but also the space, the space of, like, if you would sit with the same people in a coffee shop, I don't know if it would have the same results. It's like you're all gathering with an intention to do something positive, and there is kind of a blessing that comes towards this thing. For me, I have to say that when I started with the self development and spirituality, it was in the initially it was a very lonely path, you know, because none of my friends care about this. It doesn't interest none of my family. Nobody in my life is interested in that, and I was very much alone in it. And when you're alone, you're kind of dependent on the next video that will come on YouTube or something that you will find online. And there's so much of everything and so much disinformation that it's very hard to find the information that would really click for you, the practices that would really work for you. And you have to go through a lot of data in order to really reach the goal, you know?
Mm,
And when you have a group, first of all, you're not alone anymore, you know? They're all about the same things pretty much. And you can bring every new theory or every new data that you have to the group, and people can really give their opinion. Some people may try it, you know, a lot of, yeah, just a lot of clearing out the weeds and just really making the practice or the spiritual practice or the work that you do so much more effective, because especially with shadow work and all of those things, it's a shadow, you don't see it, you know, you just, it's hard to do it alone. It's very, very hard to do it alone.
yeah.
And if you open YouTube or you open, I don't know, on Instagram and everything, like, you have millions of therapists and influencers, and everyone tells you something different. You don't know what's important, what's not important. You kind of, it's very easy to lose your way in this jungle of information,
Mm,
you know. And yeah, I think that for me, it really, really helped to be in a group, and to trust the one who is leading the group, his knowledge,
mm.
his intentions. Yeah,
I was gonna ask you because you mentioned there is a phase when like you're just totally alone. You haven't found your tribe yet. You're in this like transition period into this new phase of your life. Like, so before you found the group, how did you like what was guiding you? How did you like you said you would look for the next video, but like how do you know which video is the one that is helpful for you?
you don't. You just watch them all, you know, and you don't know what to do. And yeah, that is the, you just find yourself. Well, I kind of really liked Eckhart Tolle, so it was very easy for me to start from there and to move to find the branches, the closest branches to there.
Okay,
But
cool.
but uh, but yeah, I watched a lot of content that was meaningless, completely meaningless. You
Mm,
know, I don't want to disregard or disrespect other people's comments or contents or anything like that. But I went through hours and hours of videos of reading data that was completely, had no meaning for me, no effectiveness, nothing, you know.
mm,
And And when you're so young at this, when you're just a beginner, you don't really know to identify something that is good and valuable and something that isn't. And maybe those things that you consider that are not valuable are actually the thing that you should go and watch.
Mm,
And yeah, it's definitely it's a I guess that life in a way is testing you, you know? How serious are you in that? how real are you? You know, and you're going to pass through a lot of things that just don't click with you. Just don't you don't know what they mean, you don't know what to do with them,
mm,
and a lot of information that would just for you in that level is useless.
mm,
Maybe when you go and progress a little bit more, that information becomes more valuable. But
that's true.
yeah, as a recommendation for a person that wants to start with spirituality, that knows that there is something more to life than what he lives, I would go to Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, like a starting point, and I would go to study the four archetypes. But I like it very much, so I think, and it had a really like strong effect on my life. So I would go read the King, Warrior, Magician, Lover by Dr. Robert Moore. It's a really, really good book. They have it on audiobook. And I would also go and read The Way of the Superior Man by David Data.
Mm, cool.
Yeah, this is where I would start. Just, yeah.
You mentioned Power of Now, so I'm gonna send a shout out to my friend Momo. I know he's reading that book right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my friend Momo, I think he's someone that his mind is very noisy. So when he's
Mm,
reading this book, it's helping him to, I guess, like wonder what is the present moment? What does it even
yeah.
mean to be present?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's puts it in ways that is so easy to follow and so easy to kind of to understand and recognize yourself in that and just come back to it again and come back to it again and again until your mind is trained to do that.
Hmm. I reread
Yeah.
that same book about maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, and what stood out to me this time was when he talked about something that he calls the unmanifested.
Mm.
That before, when I read that chapter, it just sounded like gibberish. Like I was like, I don't know what this is. I just kind of skipped it. But this time, I was
Yeah.
like, wait, there's something there.
Yeah. The unmanifested. Yeah. That is one of the names or one of the titles that they give to the masculine type of God. You know, I guess the feminine type is everything that is created and manifested, every form of energy that is, and the masculine God is everything that was never manifested. You know, the thing
Hmm.
that isn't in a way. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, for me, in that moment when I was alone and had no tribe, and the thing that I held onto was ego death and non-duality. And I didn't know what else to trust. So I just stuck to that. And anything that had like a hint of that, I would go check that out.
Yeah.
And that's why I also trust Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah. Yeah. Non-duality is like yeah, it's the pinnacle of things. You know, it's quite challenging to follow mentally to understand, but once you get it, it's very very yeah. You cannot go another way. You know, it's just
Like I'm such
so
a
obvious. But
I'm such a
yeah,
nerd for non-dualism that I went to India 2 years ago, right? And that's where I met my current girlfriend. That's also where
Oh,
the
wow.
whole thing I told you about, like the four breakups in 2 months, like that's also where that happened. It was like
Yeah.
a transition period in my life.
When you went to India, did you go to the Advaita Vedanta path or to the Tantra? Okay,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, someone that we knew here in Vietnam, he invited us over there. So we went to this town called Tiruvannamalai.
Yeah. It's a mountain, or
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. We went to the mountain. We did meditation in the caves and everything.
Wow,
That
amazing,
was an amazing experience. Yeah. I didn't expect it to be such a huge, like life-changing event for me, but it was. Somehow that just happened.
amazing. I really want to do that as well. Yeah.
Dang. Is there anything else you would want to say about victim mentality?
Um, I would like to add what I said in the beginning that uh, when you meet someone that has it, I think that it's a very important thing to not to come from a victim hatred mentality, because that's kind of being a bully a little bit. You have to come with a very compassionate mind, and if you want to help them, know that the thing that will help them the most is making the decision on their own. Otherwise, you're pushing them in, and you're making them a victim again. You're pushing them into to making a decision they're maybe not ready yet.
Mm.
So, yeah, gentle.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of men coaches out there that are very aggressive about it.
that's true.
They're very, and we men, we also have softness in us. We don't have to be Spartans 24/7.
Mm.
And it's good to open the heart as well. And
Hmm. And we should find ways to empower them.
exactly. And if you meet someone who is in the process of being making that change, then yeah, allowing the space to be a little bit more accommodating, a little bit softer,
Mm.
and yeah, becoming the real king in that situation and supporting the other person instead of being the tyrant or trying to win something, trying to show that you're better and not being a victim or something like that.
Mm.
You know? Yeah.
Cool. This makes
Yeah.
me want to
It
ask
all comes
you.
down to love, I suppose. It comes down to to love. If you have like love in your heart, then and you act from this place, then yeah, this will make the difference
Mm. This makes me want to ask you now, like, who are your favorite leaders?
in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, actually, one of the exercises that I'm going to do in the workshop is an exercise called "Create Your Own Role Model," and it really addresses that issue that today in the world we don't have too many people who can really embody the king archetype in its full form. So the exercise is to make a puzzle of it, to take 4 or 5 figures from fiction or from reality, from nowadays or the past, and then together, putting them together, their characteristics together, you can make a real mature and positive king archetype. And people really click into that exercise because it allows them to be creative, to go to imagination, to legends, to movies, and it really helps them create this image in their mind of what it is, of what is the real good king archetype. So I'm going to say I have a couple of them. From reality would be a little bit difficult, but I'm choosing one of them is Ronaldo from the player from that used to play in Real Madrid. I don't know where he's playing right now.
The
I
Portuguese,
really
the Portuguese, right?
what? Yeah, Portuguese. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that he's a really good leader in the team. He's really good at taking responsibility, taking ownership. It doesn't matter like if you're Barcelona or Real Madrid fan. You really have to appreciate those leadership skills. He never thinks about Ronaldo. It's always about the team. And very supportive of young players, of new players. It's like a real father of the team in a way. And I really appreciate his leadership.
I especially love to see when he's the captain of his national team.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That is how a real leader should be. When they lose and some players are crying on the grass, then he literally lifts them up with his hands, like stand up, stand proud. It's just so touching to see this kind of leadership. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
I saw a
Yeah.
video of the Portuguese national team. They were gonna take the penalty shootouts, and everybody was
Mhm.
nervous. And Ronaldo was like, "Just kick. If you miss, fuck it. It's okay."
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's really, really very, very inspiring to
Mm.
watch.
I said, "You like football too."
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
One of
You
my
like
favorite.
football? You watch a lot of football?
Yeah, I don't watch so much now, but I do love football. And there was actually a big football match in South America recently. Do you know this team called Boca Juniors?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so they lost. Have you heard of this cup called Libertadores in South America?
Yeah, 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 definitely. Of course.
So they were playing like
Argentina.
the preliminary rounds before getting to the group stage. And Boca Juniors played a team from Peru, this team called Alianza
Mhm.
Lima. And Alianza beat them in Argentina. And it's like a
Wow,
huge upset right now. People in Argentina are so angry about it. And people in Peru are so happy. And my family's from Peru, so I'm enjoying it.
nice, nice. Where are they from? This Peruvian group?
They're from Lima, from the capital city.
Oh, amazing, nice,
Yeah. And no one expected them to beat Boca like that. Like nobody expected it, honestly.
amazing. This is for the Copa America or for what?
But this is for Copa Libertadores, which is it's
Ah,
like the South American Champions League. It's like, oh, okay, but Alianza has a good captain too. He used to be the captain of the national team before.
mm,
I think without him, they wouldn't have beaten Boca. There's no way. Another one
interesting.
of my favorite captains in football is Maradona.
Yeah, 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 definitely,
I think you would like
definitely.
to watch there's this thing called Maradona in Mexico where he was coaching in Mexico for a while. And
Mm,
just the way that he can talk to people and empower them so quickly is amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He has a lot of charisma, a lot of yeah, and that's also a player that really takes responsibility, takes ownership. He used to get annoyed with the team and just I'm going alone. I'm gonna do it. Really, he's not one of those people that when things go bad, they kind of hide. They don't want the ball. He would come and take it or ask for it, and yeah, really take the responsibility.
Mm.
Yeah,
And he would even tell his team, like, just play football, don't worry about it, and give me the pressure.
exactly, exactly. Because he
But
can take it. really, really wonderful, and people really, it's really easy for people to unite under such a leader, because there's someone to trust. You know that there is uh, a father figure in a way that you can go to, and that is what we all, especially men, we aspire to be. This is what we want, and by taking as much responsibility as you can, by widening your circle of ownership on the things, on the people in your lives, uh, you're going to embody that. It's, it's really a question of embody that king archetype.
Mm,
Yeah.
awesome. I hadn't.
Another great leader that I think is. Do you remember the king Aragorn from Lord of the Rings?
He had the black hair, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
Definitely. There's a lot of archetypes in that movie. A lot of archetypes and shadows, and you can really see. Yeah,
True. I like Gollum because he's always talking to himself, like, "Oh, they're not your real friends." Like, "Oh, but I can trust them." No, no, you can't. It's like a shadow.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But who of us didn't have those voices in their mind, you know?
Nice.
Who doesn't have a little Gollum in their mind saying those things, you know?
And what's creepy is that, like, it's like, wow, I must have had that my whole life, but I wasn't aware of it until recently.
Yeah, because you think it's you. You
Yeah,
think that this voice is you, you know? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the tragedy of life, I suppose, of our modern life, that we
Mm.
don't really know the difference between the voices and ourselves, the one who listens to them and can make a decision.
Like every now and then, I'll hear it say something clearly. Like maybe like last year, I had food poisoning, and while I was like hurting in pain, I could hear this thing in my mind say like, "Yeah, you deserve to suffer like this." And I'll be like,
Exactly.
"Why the fuck are you telling me that? That's so terrible."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, "God, so mean."
Yeah, definitely. That's a classic example of the shadow,
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
definitely.
in my attempt to try to understand the shadow, I just started watching like demonic possession movies because I was
Mm.
thinking like they're talking pretty similarly, like this mean voice and those demons from the movie, like they're talking pretty
Yeah.
similarly.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's an entity. It's just, yeah, just another entity. But also, I would come from a place of compassion towards it. Just try to be the father figure
Mm,
in that situation. Like, listen, understand, respect their point of view. Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
It feels like even if you try to attack that demon and like fight it with fire, it gets stronger.
It doesn't. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. There's no zero effect to this. Because this part it's part of you. It's as smart as you are. It
Right.
knows everything that you know.
Yeah.
It's not. You cannot outsmart it. You cannot convince him in something that. You know.
Mm. It's like in those demon movies, they know like all of your darkest secrets and they know exactly where to attack you.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a good friend right now who's dealing with with that internal mean voice now.
Mm. Yeah. Some of them are very, very, very mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna figure out a way to help my friend, but I don't like to see him go through that. It looks painful.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It is. It is painful. But most of the time, it's a matter of generating an honest conversation with this part. Like really, just figure out why is it so mean? Why does he not like you so much? What's so wrong about you, in his opinion?
Mm.
You know? And for me, the best way was to strike a deal.
Wow.
The best solution, yeah, was just to make a deal with this part.
What deal did you make?
This part wanted to do something of meaningful, not to just keep going and keep grinding and doing nothing of meaning. And it also wanted to be allowed to be aggressive, you
Mm.
know? So for me, it was doing something of meaning was writing books, 2 books I wrote,
Nice.
and being allowed to be aggressive as I signed up to learn Thai kickboxing.
Nice.
Yeah, this Muay Thai. Yeah.
Mm.
So I still do it. I like it very much.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so lazy to exercise, but I'm slowly getting back into it. Slowly. Jeez, I'm so lazy.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, thank you so much, Moses. Do you have any final messages to say?
No, thank you very much. It was as pleasurable as always.
Let's keep doing this. This is fun.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah,
Awesome.
sounds great.
See you, Moses. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, looking forward to the next time. See you.
See you.